Look, the important thing is that everyone remains in the same place whilst they're locked down, which is exactly what happened in, I think, the case you're referring to with Mr. Cummings. So the Prime Minister will have known he was staying put, and he didn't come out again until he was feeling better. I'll just come back to you.
But he did travel 250 miles from his London home, did he not? And again, to you and to Dr. Harris, you seem to be very clear about when people can leave their home, Dr. Harris. That is, for example, if they're seeking food, medical supplies, caring for the vulnerable. Let me give you one specific example. If someone is ill and the other parent is not at that time showing symptoms and they have a young child, should they leave their home when ill to go to another home 250 miles away? Is that in line with the guidance?
Sorry, I can go first. I'll go first. The guidance says, if you're living with children, keep following this advice to the best of your ability. However, we are aware that not all these measures will be possible, depending, therefore, on circumstances. I'm adding those last few words. In other words, if you are in a position where you've got a young child, in this case 4 years old, and you are worried about the welfare of that child and your ability to throw around them the wider network of support, then clearly being somewhere where other members of the family can assist, by which I mean, in this case, younger other members of the family, then that might be the best place for you to settle and stay throughout the time that you're ill. And I think that's all that's happened in this case. I know the PM knew that he was unwell and that he was locked down. Of course, the PM was also unwell during the same period in reference. I can tell you the PM provides Mr. Cummings with his full support, and Mr. Cummings has provided a full statement. And I think it's perfectly right that questions are asked, and you're all asking the same questions, and not, I appreciate, about the transport, significant transport announcements of the upgrading of the A66 to dual carriageway and £1 billion to make people's lives better and faster to connect there, and I appreciate that. For everybody who's lost loved ones, everybody has been impacted by this crisis, and everyone has done their best to try to do the right thing. As I read out before, I won't repeat the guidance again, but it does essentially interpret it as taking practical steps to ensure that you follow the measures as best as possible in order to prevent, for example, in this case, a 4-year-old child from ending up without having the necessary support that a 4-year-old would quite obviously require.